Hello, so welcome to the consultancy space for LCVP PM. If you are thinking about applying, I think this chat is going to be really good for you. I'm going to share my screen with you, so I'm not going to be able to see your questions. But if you have any, please write here in the chat, and then once I arrive at the questions part, I will be able to read everything and answer. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen right now. Nice. So I will start talking a little about the context of the area people management. As you might know before, and in some other places, is still called talent management. And I suggest you read this article from Josh Bersin. He's a really good HR businessman, really known in this area. And he did this article about 4 or 5 years ago, saying white people management is replacing talent management in companies. And then basically the idea that he brings us is that we need to stop thinking as people entirely as talent, because this is a limiting concept. We need to actually just treat them as simple as people. And then I quoted this phrase from him, which I think is really important. He says that that's why we need to start to think about employees as people, and this is why more and more companies are starting to rename their HR organizational things like people operations or people management. So if you ever look for it, or if you study a little about HR, you will see that even Google, they have people operations, and the majority of the big companies, they are working with people management nowadays. So if you are interested in applying, I really suggest you to read this article. I'm leaving the link in the slide so you can check it later, okay? And here I will introduce you what is the responsibility of the role. So the VPPM is responsible for the membership experience and its leadership development. Everyone inside IASEC, they are just here, or they are just doing our products, or they're just being a member because they want to develop their leadership skills. So PM does that through the PM process implementation, which is basically we develop, we keep our people inside IASEC, and then later on we report on those people. So basically what a VPPM needs to do is to work with the national office in order to implement those 4 things. So get is basically the recruitment, the part that we are going to get the right people for IASEC. The develop is where the magic of IASEC happens. So is where they are going to be learning functional skills, is where we are going to be developing them as leaders. We are going to be giving them hard skills, soft skills. They are going to be learning new stuff. And after that, after all this investment, is only fair for us to expect that people will keep in IASEC, that people will stay in IASEC. So the key process are about nurturing our pipeline, so they will step out for leadership positions, and also for our membership to stay in contact with IASEC for longer terms. And in the end, we use people analytics, we use data to make those decisions, because even though we are a people management area, we are not supposed to be taking decisions out of our minds or out of what we think is happening. We are supposed to take those decisions based on people analytics, and we call this last phase report. So basically, what the VPPM needs to do is to work with the national office to implement those 4
Okay.
phases. Hello?
NT
Discover.
NT. This is not D.
What?
That's an I.
And
Right.
these.
So this together it's D.
These.
Hi.
Very.
Hey,
Can you mute your phone?
I'm trying to look for the mute button. Okay, good.
Here.
Okay, I'm gonna mute now.
Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, you can just write here, and then in the end, I'm going to answer them all, okay? Nice. So let me come back here. So as I was saying, the LCVP PM role is to implement those 4 steps and also to empower the team leaders to implement the team standards, which is basically when someone enters in Isaac, we promise them that they will have a team experience. And it's the PM job to make sure that this experience is having some standards, which basically we call team standards. And then team standards have 3 phases, which is building, the part where the member or the newbie is starting to build the team together with the team leaders and the other members. The performing phase, where the member is actually going to give us some results or is going to help us to make IASEC bigger or impact with IASEC. And then to close the experience with this team, we have the briefing part, which is called closing. Basically, even if the member is staying in IASEC or if he's just changing positions or if he's applying for another thing, they need to close the experience with that team because probably other people are going to leave or the team leader is going to change or things happen. So they need to close every experience from 6 to 6 months. But I'm going to explain better what team standards are in the next slides. So those are the things that PM can do to know if we are making a successful job. So in IASEC, we use measure of success for everything, MOS, and those are the ones for PM. So the number 1 is percentage of PM process implemented. This is calculated nationally, but of course for the MCPM to say that one process is X% implemented, we need the VPs to actually implement those things. So all the strategies that an MCPM passes or an MCPM proposes is in order to achieve this PM process implementation. The second one is percentage of members achieving their goals. So we want our members to be successful inside IASEC to achieve their personal goals and also their IASEC goals. And we calculate that through the engagement survey, which we send once every 3 months. But also we have a tool called Personal Development Plan where we can see monthly if the members are achieving their goals or not. The third one is productivity, which is basically number of approvals divided per number of members. Even if you have LCP, even if you have finance, even if you have PM or someone that is working with value delivery, all of those people, they enter inside the productivity rate because everyone inside the LC is working to help this approval to be done. So the PM is getting the people, the LCP is managing the LC, the value delivery team is delivering the experience. So everyone is actually working so this approval will be successful. This is why we count everyone for productivity. The fourth one is, of course, percentage of team standards implemented. And then we have members with IXP. IXP is short for integrated experience. So it's how much members we have that already experience our products. How many members we have are going to go abroad with IASEC to experience IGV, IGT, or IGE. And this is important for PM in terms of culture because a member who experience our product or a member who understand, or a member who understand what they are selling, it makes the experience more valuable. So this is why this is a PM MOS as well. The other one is percentage of talent capacity on CRM. So not only having people, we need to understand who are these people, how old are they, where they're coming from, and we need to have an HR control. And for that, we use a CRM. And our CRM today of Isaac in France, it's inside Podio. But the next MCPM can decide to use any other tool. But just be aware that every talent capacity needs to be on one national CRM. Otherwise, it's a little impossible for we in the national office to understand how many members we have in the 17 LCs that we have inside Isaac in France. And the last PM MOS is percentage of rotation rate. So it's how much percent of your members you are retaining in Isaac, how many of them that you are developing, and how many of them that are happy with the Isaac experience and they are staying in Isaac and even applying for higher roles of leadership roles. And that would be all for PM MOS. So here I'm going to explain what are the micro processes inside each one of the macro process of PM process implementation. So as I told you, we start with get, which is basically to recruit people, how to get the right people at the right place. And if you ever work with HR or if you have any minimum knowledge, you will see that every company has one way to do their recruitment. And with IASEC, it's not different. We have our own way to do the recruitment, which is resuming five steps. So the first thing that we do is called persona building. We understand who are the ideal member for IASEC. So we discuss and we define what are the characteristics, how many amount of free time this person have, or from which school are they coming from, and those kind of things that is going to help us to understand what are the kind of people that we need inside our LC, and not just random people who is going to apply and we are going to select just because. The second thing is the talent planning. So we as PM, we need to understand how many members we need to select, where they are going, to which commission, what is going to be their goal, with this amount of members, how much is going to be our productivity rate. So this is really important for us to not be selecting more people than we should, and also to not be selecting less people than we should. The third thing is the talent attraction. This is a corner that we do with marketing commission. So the online talent attraction is handled by the national office, by the MC. We pretty much do all of the campaign on Facebook, because our Facebook page is really big. So we basically invite people to join Isaac as members. We always have a campaign. So you have a call to action. You have a visual marketing campaign to help people to be attracted. And on the other hand, in the local office, you as VP PMs are supposed to be attracting people with physical touch points. So to do stands, to do class shouts, or to ask for recommendation by friends, and those kind of things that we need to be face to face to attract our people. The fourth thing is called talent selection and allocation. So it's literally where we are going to interview them, giving them dynamics to understand if they are fitable for IASEC or not. And same for allocation. If we understand that this person needs to be inside IASEC, for which commission are we going to get them? Because since they are entering, like they are newbies, they probably don't understand what our commissions are about, or they don't know where they are most needed. So it's the VPPM job to make sure that they are being allocated to a commission or to an area that is going to actually work better with this member. And the last part of the recruitment is the talent onboarding. So it's basically the part where we're going to teach our members to do everything. If this person was selected to work for marketing, but they have no marketing backgrounds, well, this is the time that we're going to use to actually teach them how to do it. And of course, here we start teaching them like more soft skills as well, such as leadership skills, and they are going to start understanding better what IASEC is, what is the impact of IASEC. All of the organizational knowledge is also passed from here. And after we select our people, then we start the phase of develop, which is pretty much how we enable learnings, but also how these learnings are going to make our people develop themselves personally and also in IASEC matters. So we only have 3 things inside here. The first thing is called performance management. So for this one, we use the tool that I mentioned before called personal development plan. This is how we know if our members are being productive, if our members are performing, if the member is happy with whatever he's doing, or if he has any feedback for us. Everything we do here in this performance management part. The second one is team leader capacity building. So it's how we are teaching our VPs or our team leaders on how to be team leaders, on how to implement team standards, or how to be coaches, or how to help the members grow, and those kind of things. And the third part is handled by the national office. It's called National Education Cycle. It's basically cycle of online trainings that you can see in our hub, and then you have one training for each commission. So you can join the campaign, and then you can just see the trainings, and then you can have more knowledge in one specific topic that your LC or that your member are needing. And this is how we develop people inside IASEC. The third step then is how we're going to nurture our talent. We also have 3 micro processes for this one. The first one is rewards and recognition. So it's how we are using the good members or the performance members or the most productive members as an example for the rest of the LC, and which rewards we are giving to them. So you can even use big things or small things, from giving them a fee for a conference, or only a recognition in an LCM, or sending an email to your LC recognizing this person, or giving them a t-shirt. This is something that you should be deciding with your EB, but it's super important to happen so our members feel appreciated inside IASEC. The second one is also handled by the national office, but we need the VP's PM to help us, because engagement survey is a form, a questionnaire, where we understand how much % of team standards are being implemented, and general MOS as well. So when I said percentage of members achieving their goals, we can understand this percentage from this survey as well. We can understand if our members want to apply for leadership roles from this survey as well. So the national office is going to be doing this survey from 3 to 3 months, and it's the VPPM responsibility to make sure that every member is going to apply this in their LC, like that they are going to receive answers from everyone in the LC. And the third part is the succession. So it's how the VPPM can keep his or her pipeline interested in applying for leadership positions. And then, as I said before, we do all of those three processes based on people analytics. Inside the report part, we have 4 things that we can do using people analytics to make sure that we are taking the right decisions in get, keep, and develop. So the first thing is the global reporting, which is you can connect with the monthly reporting because we do them monthly. So it's basically how the VPPM and how the national office is reporting in terms of the PM measurable of success. So this should be happening monthly, and there are 5 MOS that the PM Commission needs to report on. The third and the fourth one is regarding the national office as well. So only the MCPM is going to be handling, which is reporting process, which is collecting those reports and make sure that they are available for everyone in the entity to see. And knowledge management is to make sure that all of this report is going to be passing along to the next generations. So it's how I use my Google Drive, or how I use my Podio, or how I use whatever folder I'm using to make sure that my successor and the successor of my successor and so on are going to receive those reports as well. So that would be it for the PM process implementation. If you have any questions, please just write in the chat and I'm going to get right to it. And then I'm going to do a briefly explanation about the team standards as well. So this is the 3 phases of a team. A team needs to be built, a team needs to perform, and then a team needs to close this experience. So in the building part, there are 3 things that the team leader needs to conduct with their members, which is team creation. So it's for the members to understand what are the functional knowledge that they need, what are the team roles, and what are the competence that they need to have or that they need to learn in that semester in order to be able to perform. The second one is the team plan. So it's for everyone to be on board in the goals of the team, in the timeline that the team is going to use. What are the strategies that they are going to use to achieve their goals? What is the purpose of the team? Everyone understand what are their job descriptions and their responsibility. So all of those things we put inside the team planning. And the third thing inside building is the individual plan. So it's the first time that the member is going to get in contact with the personal development plan. Here is the first one-to-one that the team leader needs to have with the member, so they can plan their personal goals and their ISAC goals in an accountable way. And then after this part is done, basically it happens in the first month and a half of a member. They are going to enter in the performing part, which is where we expect the results. So the first thing is the results elevation. Is basically how they are putting in practice the thing that they just learned, or how they are working together with their team, or how they are being incentivized by the team leader and by the commission to do that job. The second thing is performance tracking. So what are the accountability system? What are the routine of meetings? What are the reviews or the reports that this team is using to make sure that everyone is aware of which page the team is? And the last thing is the support system. So the same thing as the first individual plan, how this member is going to receive individual support every month until the end of his term. So this is where the one-to-ones happen. This is where the member and the team leader can give feedbacks to one another. This is where we're going to have lead spaces so the member can understand and evolve their leadership skills. And where their team is going to go to a place, or they're going to have a cafe to have a team days and a team moment to understand what they need to do together in order to achieve their goals and also to bounce. And the performing part, they last pretty much all of the time that the member is inside ISAC. So it probably lasts 4 or 5 months. And then in the last month of the semester, the team is going to enter into the closing part, which is the team debrief. So they're going to report on the results that they achieved and the results that they did not achieve. They're going to see how much their team developed, and they are also going to give final feedbacks. And then they are going to do transition with the team that is coming right after them. Because even if they are leaving ISAC, or they are moving positions, or if they are just staying in the same, they need to transition this knowledge. They need to make sure that the people who are coming right next to them, right after them, know what they need to do. And the last thing is in the video debrief. So again, back to the one-to-one where the member and the team leader, they are going to sit together and they're going to look back to everything that the team has been through, everything that they developed, everything that they were able to achieve together. And those are the faces of the team. As you might notice, it's not the VPPM who actually implemented, but is the team leaders, but is the VPPM responsibility to make sure that this routine is happening. Since when we recruit people, we are telling them that they are going to have team experiences. Those are the minimum things that this person needs to receive inside a team experience. And that would be all regarding the VPPM routine and the VPPM job description. So if you have any questions right now, I'm going to go back to the web chat and I'm going to close my screen for you to see. Hello, friend. Hello. So guys, if you have any question, you can open your mics and say, or you can type here. If you don't, I'm just going to close the space.
Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to know your daily or your weekly, how to say it, like, what do you do in the week for Isaac, for example, usually?
Okay, so what I do as MC is different of what a LCVP does. Do you want to know what I do in the national office, or do you want to know what a VPPM normally does?
Normally PPM.
Okay, so every Monday I send a newsletters for things that they need to do in that week, and it depends on the timeline that we are on. So if we are in timeline of recruitment, I'm going to be sending them tasks and strategies so they can put recruitment on practice. Or if we are in timeline of performing inside team standards, I'm going to give them things to do there. So I would say that a VPPM takes 2 hours per day of job mainly, and you can pretty much do everything that the VPPM needs to do. So other than the PM process implementation, so other than get, keep, develop, and report, and other than the team standards, mainly some LCVPs, they also have another things to do, but this is really particular by every LC. But the only thing that they need to understand is that the priority should be the PM process and the team standards. If they have time to do anything else, well, they can. They're really welcome to, but the priority should be those two things.
Okay.
Anything else?
I had.
Okay, so Ahmed is asking, I saw the global TM call today, and I saw that Europe is the last region in TM process implementation. How can I, as an LCVP, contribute to better do an impact? So basically, France right now has 68% of PM process implemented. And our goal is to achieve, by the end of this, my term, my goal is to achieve 70%. So we are almost there, because when we started, we only have 6% of PM process implemented. So basically, why do I think this happened is because Europe is a little behind. And I mean, even in companies, even in startups, is a little behind in terms of HR business. So things that Europe is doing is really slow, if I may use this word. Is really like new strategies are coming and Europe is not being able to catch up. So this is the first thing that we need to do. We need to understand that in HR, any HR that you're going to work, you need to be always aware that things change super fast, and you need to be you need to keep up so you can change with the changes. And then how can you impact as an LCVP is pretty much everything that an MC is going to tell you to do is to help with the implementation. So my last effort on this PM process implementation is to have the VPs sending me reports regarding their MOS. So if you are doing your report, you're already contributing to this percentage. But I have 17 LCs and I receive, I don't know, around 9 reports. So that means that almost half of the commission are not doing what the national office is proposing. And of course, I'm just here to do the strategies. I'm just here to point you guys to the right direction. But if I don't have the LCVPs doing the things that I am proposing, of course, I cannot achieve that. So if you want to contribute to a better impact, I would suggest those two things: to be aware of the trends and the things that are changing inside HR business, not only inside IASEC, but in the external world, and also to work with the national office, because everything that we do, like the timeline that we propose, the strategies that we propose, is to make this implementation go higher. How can we improve the building phase percentage? So one thing that our LCs does not have routine on is in team standards in general. So the first thing that we as VPPMs we need to do is to make sure that our LC understand what are team standards and why we are making them put this on practice, because the building phase is where everything is going to start to make sense for people, so people can perform, or so people can connect, or so they can have questions, the right questions to ask us. So to improve the building phase, I would say that the first thing is for them to understand why we are doing team standards, and also for the members to understand that this is their right. So if they know that this is something that their team leaders needs to give them, like is the minimum that their team leaders needs to do, I think that's a good start. And if you want me to say like more about the micro process inside the building, I would say that we still need to focus mainly on the PDPs, because not all LCs have it. Not everyone do it like monthly. The team leaders does not have a routine of one-to-ones with their members, so they don't know how much % of the goals the members are achieving, or what are the member goals. So I would say that the PDP is something that we really need to work on, and if you needed to focus on just one thing, we should do that, because the national office pushes a lot the VPs to do the plan phase, so the members just need to be on board. But the PDP is something that the national office cannot actually do if the team leaders are not doing. So I would say that not even only for building phase, even for the rest of the team standards phase, if we start with the PDP, like a good PDP, the member would understand their goal, the member would understand why they are in IASEC, how they can achieve that goal, or how they can grow inside IASEC, and I think everything would come after this.
Okay, thank you so much. But for me, I guess I have no more questions, and that's it. Thank you so much for the space, I guess, and yeah.
Okay, Ahmed, thank you. Fran, do you have any other questions?
Not for now.
Okay, then you have my contact. If you want to approach me later with more questions, I'm going to be available still. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, and good luck in your applications. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.